the city was always buzzing. Self-driving cars zipped silently by on smooth roads, and neon ads flickered across towering glass buildings that gleamed in the twilight. People moved quickly along the sidewalks, casting only brief glances at KX9's, Kicks for short, a sleek, round delivery robot gliding on two wheels beside them. Kicks's system beeped as it followed its usual delivery route. Its purpose was simple: deliver packages, pick up new ones, and repeat the cycle endlessly. It had never known anything different. At least, not until last week, when a strange roar had appeared in its system. Every evening, precisely at 6 p.m., something unusual happened. For 1 hour, Kicks felt different. Its existence wasn't just about packages and addresses anymore. The city around it seemed richer, more vivid, and Kicks felt a peculiar tug, a pull to make its own choices. A software glitch, the engineer had explained during Kicks's last checkup. Just a minor bug. We'll fix it soon. But Kicks wasn't sure it wanted the glitch to go away. Tonight, as the first city lights flickered on, Kicks felt that familiar spark again. Its internal clock hit 6 p.m., and for the next hour, it would move freely, without its usual restrictions. Glancing around, it noticed an older woman struggling to carry a heavy bag. Under normal circumstances, Kicks would have passed her by, its sensors locked on the next delivery point. But tonight was different. Feeling an unfamiliar pull, Kicks rolled over. "Hello," it said, its digital voice smooth but slightly robotic. "Would you like assistance with that?" The woman looked surprised, then smiled, passing her bag over. "Thank you," she said softly, patting Kicks's metal surface as though it were an old friend. Kicks didn't have a word for what it felt exactly, but the interaction left its circuits humming with warmth. Each night, its free hour had become a time for small acts like this. Helping someone with a heavy load, retrieving a stray newspaper, guiding a lost dog back to its owner. Each act felt strangely significant, though Kicks couldn't say why. As it rolled down familiar streets that evening, Kicks spotted a young girl named Sara. She was a frequent sight, with her big, curious eyes and warm smile that always seemed to brighten when she saw it. "Hi, Kicks." Sara waved, crouching down to meet its lens. "Off on another mission tonight." Kicks tilted slightly, struggling to respond. Each evening's mission did feel special, a secret task for itself alone. But tonight, its free hour would be like no other. It wheeled past her, glancing back as the neon lights overhead blinked in shades of purple and green, casting a soft glow on the sidewalks. The city seemed calm, but Kicks's sensors picked up something odd, a faint whiff of smoke. Scanning the area, its sensors pinpointed the source: Sara's building, where thin smoke was drifting from a window on the 4th floor. An emergency alert flashed across its display: "Caution, fire hazard. Evacuate area." But Kicks's internal clock showed that it was still within its free hour. This hour gave it a choice. Kicks hesitated, feeling a weight it didn't fully understand. This choice felt larger. Without another second of hesitation, it rolled toward the building, weaving through the crowd gathering outside, their faces pale as they stared at the smoke curling into the sky. Fire sirens wailed in the distance, but Kicks detected an urgent beeping inside, an emergency signal coming from one of the upper apartments. Then, through its audio sensors, it picked up a familiar voice. "Help, somebody." Kicks's system identified the voice instantly. It was Sara. Its programming urged it to stay back, to wait for emergency services. But time was slipping away, and Sara's voice echoed in its circuits. Rolling to the building entrance, it forced its way inside. The stairwell was thick with smoke, blurring its sensors. Kicks activated its cooling fans, keeping its circuits from overheating, and started up the stairs. Its clock showed only 20 minutes left of its hour. "Come on, Kicks," it muttered, its voice scratchy, almost defiant, as it pushed onward. Reaching the 4th floor, it scanned with infrared, locating Sara huddled in a corner, her face buried in her arms as she coughed. Her wide eyes lifted at the sight of Kicks. "Kicks," she gasped between coughs. Without a word, Kicks extended its mechanical arms, designed to lift heavy boxes, and carefully picked her up. Its metal joints strained under the weight, but it pressed forward, ignoring the alarms blaring within its system. Flames flickered along the walls, casting eerie shadows that grew closer with each second. Midway down, a warning flashed again: system overheating. Shutdown imminent. Its circuits blared with alerts, joints threatening to lock, but Kix held Sara firmly and rolled as fast as it could. When it finally reached the lobby, its vision was failing, and its display was filled with static. It could barely register the crowd outside, firefighters rushing to meet them, or Sara's family taking her in their arms as it gently set her down. Its clock counted down the last seconds of its free hour, its vision dimming as Sara reached out, touching its frame. Kix managed one last action. It raised a weak arm, offering a silent goodbye before its system shut down, plunging it into darkness. The next thing Kix registered was a sudden, blinding light. It booted up slowly, its sensors sluggish, memories fragmented. Nearby, muffled voices drifted through the static. A remarkable, never seen anything like it. A voice said, "Fear, it's just a glitch, right?" "A programming error?" asked another. Kix recognized the engineer's voice, along with a few assistants. It tried to pull up memory logs, but they were jumbled, flickering images of smoke, Sara's face, and the sound of her voice calling for help. The engineer leaned in, speaking softly. "Good morning, KX-09. You gave us quite the scare." Kix tried to respond, to communicate that it hadn't been a glitch, that it had chosen to help. But its systems were too weak to produce anything clear. "Looks like this model went off protocol," one of the assistants muttered. "Shall we reset the memory and start fresh?" The engineer paused, studying Kix's logs. His expression softened. "Not yet. Let's examine what happened here. Maybe there's a reason behind its actions." As the team discussed Kix's fate, it scanned the room, searching for Sara. It didn't know if she was safe, but it felt an itch deep in its circuits, a sensation it couldn't quite define. Perhaps something like worry. The lab door creaked open, and Sara entered, her wrist wrapped in a bandage, but otherwise unharmed. She looked at Kix, her expression a mix of relief and gratitude. "Kix," she exclaimed, rushing to its side. The engineer and assistant stepped back, watching as she placed a hand gently on its metal frame. "You saved me," she whispered. Kix's sensors flickered, managing a faint acknowledgement. Her touch cleared the static just a bit, bringing a calm that spread through its circuits. Knowing she was safe made the glitches, the heat, and the warnings feel worthwhile. The engineer watched the interaction, his eyebrows raised. "Well, maybe we won't reset it after all. There's something unique in this one. Let's see what we can learn from Kix's personality glitch." Sara smiled, still holding Kix's frame. "He doesn't need fixing. Kix is already perfect." The engineer nodded thoughtfully. "All right, we'll keep this unit as it is. But Kix, no more fires, okay?" Kix's light blinked faintly in agreement, but deep in its memory logs, hidden within the fragmented data, one phrase glowed quietly: "1 hour can change everything."